All right. What's going on, Insane Gamers? As always, your boy Yo Soy ACWeezy, joined by the one and only T. Tell him who he is. Tell him who you be.
So you're your boy Yo Soy. So
Yep.
I'm the man goddamn.
Yep. And the man, goddamn, he says right when we get on, he's like, "Yeah, I got a couple of ad reads I want to do today." So I was like, "All right." So T, tell him what this episode, or who I should say, who this episode is sponsored by.
Well, the No Look podcast is sponsored by, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
Insane Games.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of all your video game pops, nerd collection, games, everything, plushes, you name it, video game systems, taking care of all your needs down at Wilton Mall, 9,000 square feet, although they don't use all 9,000, but they got a pickleball court, they got the podcast area. Check out Insane Games down at Wilton Mall. And if anybody's watching, I'm giving the Tyler discount,
Oh,
the No Look podcast discount. If you
okay.
go to the register, any used or pre-owned game or system, the systems I'm even saying, I might get a little push from up top, Austin. I might get a little push, but any pre-owned games or systems, when you say no look at the register, you get 20% off. 20% off. That's
20%.
NOLOOK. No look at the register. And if you say no look at the register when you're trading in games, you get 25% more bonus store credit or cash.
So you're telling me if I go in there and grab a new or used $100 console, I say the words no look, I get $20 off my entire order?
You get $20, 20% off. You just got your stimmy
Wow.
check. They just cut them $600. You need somewhere to go, need new games to play, need new systems to play on. You know where to look. Insane Games down at Wilton Mall, Old Victoria's Secret Store, right across from Planet Fitness if you're coming in that way. Go check it out. I
Getting a
heard
little pump on and
Dan said they're loaded with inventory now. And if you have games, have systems, have anything that you're not playing anymore, bring them on in. Get either store credit or cash for 25% more with the words NOLOOK at the register. That's no look.
I love it. I love it. And as we speak of his name, he comes and he appears, Dan, in the chat. Wow! I'm not sure if that was like, wow, like good job, or wow, like what the hell are you doing? But either way, good plug, Tyler. And as you mentioned, pickleball. Dan reached out to me the other day. He said they might be having a little tournament on Saturday. So check out for your boy Yo Soy. I'm gonna be out there getting my fucking Andy Roddick's on, doing a little pickleball.
I'm gonna put they have to do it before the football games, before obviously.
You
So
said
what
like
I'm gonna do
one.
is okay, perfect. I'm gonna put my TV out in the living room, and I'm gonna be streaming pickleball, and then I'll have the football games on. So it'll be a jam-packed day. First, I'll be on Twitch
Mm-hmm.
on Insane Games TV _. Then I'll be on Fox or wherever the Packers game is on Saturday.
I believe you're correct. And with that being said, Tyler, we won't get into the next week's matchups yet, but we do got to talk about last week a little bit. The previous records we had for week 17, excuse me, you beat me by one game. That seems to be a common theme right now because you beat me by one game again this week. So you went 4-2. I went 3-3. Let's see. You called the Rams, and we both lost the Steelers. You lost the Titans, and I
I lost a
lost
lot
the
on the
Bears and the Seahawks. So
Okay.
pretty even. I mean, I guess if we're going to discuss it, we might as well get to maybe the biggest shocker, Tyler. Last night we had a shit pumping game, and it wouldn't have been the team you expected it from. But the Cleveland Browns I mean, the final score may not have been as lopsided, but if you watched the game from start to finish, you saw how much they just completely dominated. I mean, Big Ben, what do you end up with? 3 interceptions. I mean, Baker Mayfield,
Yeah,
he's
3 interceptions
silencing
in
the
the first
haters.
half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that? Because I was, we both picked the Steelers. I was pretty confident that the Steelers would win handily, but I mean, the Browns came out. You can't have a worse start than that. Excuse me. Wow. Might need a little bit more water. That wild snap, the Browns recovered for a touchdown. I mean, what happened last night?
I was watching the game, and as soon as I was watching it, it got to halftime. I saw 28-0. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn this off. I don't need to see no more. I saw a bunch of tip passes, a bunch of bad throws, bad runs. Cleveland just dominating on the defensive side, and then obviously their run game probably the best in the league. I would say between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, just absolutely thrashing them. I wake up this morning and the Browns only won by 11, so they came back a little bit.
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing though is my thing for real. Like, Juju, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you talking so much shit? And then you come out with the stat line. I don't even know what his stat line is. Can you look it up real quick?
Yep.
But Juju's stat line was probably abysmal. Did nothing the whole entire game. He's talking like he's AB, but he's playing like he's a bench player. In the wise words of Drake, bench players talking like starters. I hate it.
Mm. I like that little Drake shout out right there. So I'm looking up. Let's see. Steelers vs Browns. Can I get like an ESPN stat line? I mean, Juju is like, I think he's still good, but they just have so many weapons. Obviously, they got Deontay Johnson. They got Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool and
who's-
Eric Ebron played well last night.
He didn't have 5 drops. He only had 2, but
He had a tutter.
so that was, I mean, that last second kind of Chase Claypool touchdown is what made it not as much of a blowout as it should have been. But let's see here. I got the box score pulled up. Pittsburgh receiving. Juju Smith-Schuster. Tyler, what made you think he had a bad game?
What, did he have a good game?
Let's see. He
I
led
only
the
saw the
Steelers
first
in
half,
receiving. He had 13 receptions for 157 yards and a touchdown.
Damn, he actually balled out for once in his life. The first half, it made it seem like he did nothing, so he possibly did all of that in the second half. I didn't really
Yeah.
watch this game. I'm going to be honest with you, 28-0 at halftime. I knew Steelers, it was going to be tough for them to even come back. Or maybe was it 35-0 at halftime? It was a large scoring. I think it was 35, actually.
35-10, I
Because
think.
35-10. Okay, so the Browns had, for their first playoff appearance in a long time, now have the record for the highest points scored in a first half in playoff history. Just absolutely got destroyed. And then you get Chase Claypool after the game saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter. They're gonna get clapped next week anyways." You lost, guy. Get off
Yeah.
TikTok Live. Go in the weight room. Get your weight up. As ACWeezy says, get your muscle up.
Get your fucking muscle up,
And
kid.
prepare for the next. You lost. It's over. Done. Go home. Nobody cares what you have to say. You're a rookie. Till you win, then you can talk.
You're a victim. So I guess let's look at this. So Big Ben, he ended up with 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. Wow, he had 500 yards passing. But with that being said, that's a little inflated because they were down the whole game, Tyler. The run game was non-existent. They only had 52 yards combined. Let's see, Mayfield, he had 263, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 115 passer rating. Nick Chubb went for 76 yards. Kareem Hunt had 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jarvis had a decent game. I mean, honestly, it's tough to say with like the score, but I feel like the Browns didn't really do much. They just kind of played their game. They let the Steelers make the mistakes. I mean, I guess you could say the defensive side of the ball. I mean, anytime you turn over Big Ben, I don't know the last time he had 4 interceptions. But
Their defense in the first half was definitely, statistically, I mean, I watched the first half, obviously. They were definitely good. Statistically, in the second half, absolutely not. If they play like that, then yes, they will get clapped by the Chiefs, guaranteed. But you're absolutely right. The Chiefs absolutely shot themselves in the foot. Or not the Chiefs, the Steelers absolutely shot themselves in the foot. And that was their game that they lost. I agree. I don't think the Browns, it doesn't feel good for me to, if I were a Browns fan, to say, we really won that game. It was more the Steelers lost that game. A lot of errors, a lot of bad throws, a lot of forced turnovers and whatnot from themselves.
yeah. And Tyler, I wasn't sure if I was getting catfish, but when I heard the name Manti Te'o, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw him out there making plays. I said, "This guy's still in the NFL." And but I think
Well,
he.
Matt Tite plays for the Bears though.
Oh, is that? Oh, that was the game I was watching. All right. Damn it! I had a nice catfish fucking joke. I don't know why I was thinking it was Browns. Anyways, still surprised he is still in the NFL. So I guess we can segue into that game. Manti Te'o, he is a real person and he is still in the NFL. The Bears, however, they're out of the playoffs. Tyler called it. I tried to speak this game into existence, even though after Tyler said his whole scenario, Brady versus Breeze, then, most likely the winner of that versus Rodgers, I said, oh, wow, that makes a lot more sense than what I was saying. Bears, they kept it close for a little while. I forget who the receiver is. But
Denzel Wims.
Wims, it was their fourth stringer, right? They had no Darnell Mooney this game. Anthony Miller got ejected after that, egregious penalty. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. But, Tyler, if I can take away anything from this game, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm almost happy I lost. Because if Mitch Trubisky goes out, he has a good game, which he didn't have a terrible game, but he didn't have a good game. If he has a good game, the Bears end up winning. Even if they get bounced out the next game, I feel like that might have been enough for the Bears organization to just be like, oh, maybe we need to give this guy a little more time. Let's give him some money, see what he can, kind of develop into. But, I mean, like I said, I feel like that's probably best case scenario. What did you take away from this game?
I mean, I almost looked at this game as a tune-up. I agree 100%. The Bears easily could have been in this game if that Wims play went the other way. If he caught that for a touchdown, obviously would have been a
Huge momentum
different
swing.
game. Oh, it would have been a completely different game. They wouldn't have been playing from behind the whole entire time. Their defense actually played very well. But the reason I say it's a tune-up game is because this is the first game in who knows how long that Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Drew Brees have played together. They said it yesterday. I think it was like 107 snaps throughout the whole entire season that they were on the field at the same time together. Injuries have just been taking them in and out. It's like almost like a intake one, outtake the other. They've been injured throughout the whole entire season. I think it's tough though. Their defense played decent, not as good as I wanted, but it showed me a lot about the Saints team that I thought they were a lot better than they were. But I feel like they played down to the Bears because the Bears are not a good team by no means, I don't think. And the Saints allowed a lot of rushing yards from David Montgomery. He played very well, and I feel like they could have easily pressured Mitch Trubisky some more, forced some more turnovers, had the game way out of hand, like I assumed it was going to be, rather than the other way around.
So you're kind of discrediting the Saints more than crediting the Bears for that final result. All right, I can kind of agree with that. But I mean, Michael Thomas looked good. Kamara, he kind of got bottled up a little bit. I think they were trying to get him that last yard. If you're watching,
for 100.
Yeah. Which I mean, the Bears knew. Everyone in the stadium knew that was happening. So.
What did you think about the whole Nickelodeon broadcast? I thought the graphics were dope. It's just the commentary was what did it for me. I just couldn't listen to it.
I didn't watch on Nickelodeon. I just watched on Fox, but I did see kind of the graphics they were doing. I think they did Anthony Miller dirty with the cheeseburger on his head and the goofy eyes. I think it's a neat idea, Tyler.
Super slander.
Oh yeah. But I was saying, I think it's a cool idea, especially for young kids trying to get involved in the game. They're already interested in Nickelodeon. They're like, oh, this is cool. Football can be interesting from a kid's standpoint, be kind of goofy. I don't think it's something that should happen a lot. I mean, okay, they did it one game a year. I'm not saying Nickelodeon should get exclusive rights and be putting SpongeBob inside the field goal post, once a week or a few times a year during the regular season. I don't think that should happen.
But maybe what I said to our group chat was maybe do it for the games that aren't going to get a lot of buzz, Jags versus Jets, or teams that are, terrible facing each other, that you're like, maybe we could create more buzz, get the ratings up against, these two bad teams and have fun with it. For me, it was when they were comparing something with the Krabby Patty formula, and I was like, all right, this is where I gotta tune out and tune back into Tony
Mhm.
Romo. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean Romo definitely one of the better commentators in the game. Tyler, the only thing now that you're saying that to try to make a matchup more interesting, I would not be opposed to them doing every NFC East Thursday night football game on Nickelodeon. I mean, the games are already shitty.
and you
It's
can only
Thursday
watch it on
night.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be like, but not even like just with the graphics. I want to see fucking someone in a SpongeBob costume running out in the field, fucking sliming Dak Prescott or Zeke Elliott when they come back. Make it interesting a little bit. I don't know.
Or just have them be the commentary group, the voice of SpongeBob and Patrick in
Hmm.
the booth.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Get those guys to do the voiceovers. That would be interesting. Get quite annoying, but if you have a couple adult beverages, you're feeling yourself, it might get a little comical, as well as the
I mean, Roger
gameplay on the
Goodell,
field.
another great idea No Look Podcast is providing you if you're listening.
Come on, Roger. You know what's good for you. So, we got that game. We talked Steelers Browns. We talked Saints Bears. Titans Ravens. You want to get into? So Tyler, you kind of called it. You said I'm gonna pick the Titans, but I feel like I'm gonna be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. The Ravens win. Um, I mean, not the best game. I don't know. It wasn't really any big plays. It was just kind of what you thought it was going to be. It was going to be two strong rushing teams and good defenses. Ravens came out on top, like I predicted. I just thought they had the hot hand. But what do you have anything to say about that one?
I mean, I know this is going to come off as obvious, but the only way you're stopping the Ravens is if you're stopping Lamar Jackson. Because I feel like anytime he has a bad game, it's not like their defense picks it up. He kind of controls the whole entire game for the Ravens. And, against the Titans, he just absolutely went buck wild on the Titans defense. Titans came off hot in the first quarter and then kind of sizzled out in the second. The run scheme, for the Titans was atrocious. Their offensive coordinator wasn't coming up with any good plays, I thought, against the Ravens defense, and the Ravens defense, just had the Titans number the whole entire time. Um, and that going back to Lamar Jackson, I feel like anytime Lamar Jackson plays well, it goes hand in hand with their defense being amped up and playing well too. Calais Campbell, absolute mammoth on the defensive line. Every time
Mm,
Derrick Henry caught the ball or ran the ball, I felt like Calais Campbell was there tackling him. Um, and most people are saying that the dirt stomping on the logo at the end was disrespectful. I thought it was very much needed, especially after the Titans doing it to them. But also the Titans deserve that because they played like absolute shit.
yeah, I mean they kind of like you were saying, where we discredited the Saints as opposed to giving the Bears praise. The Titans almost lost that game. Um, wasn't really, I don't know, it was kind of lackluster. I mean, one thing I was just looking up that I saw, Marquise Brown had his first 100-yard receiving game since week 1. So they kind of got him involved. They got him going. Kind of an asset, I know, at least from a fantasy standpoint, Tyler. A guy that was high on a lot of lists kind of got disappointed by his performance throughout the year. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like obviously they got a tough matchup. They go on the road this week against the Bills, but I don't know. I'd rather have them than the Chiefs, obviously. So they got kind of bailed out by the Steelers
Austin's
losing.
looking at every possible scenario for the Packers in the Super Bowl.
I mean, if they make it to the Super Bowl, I feel like it's going to be versus the Chiefs. But with that being said, you want to touch on any of the other games from last week, or you want to just get into the next week's predictions? I mean,
The only other two games were the Bills Colts. Great performance by
mm,
the Bills. They let in the Colts at the end. Philip Rivers doing what Philip Rivers does, losing in big games. I think it should be his last game in the NFL. He had a hell of a career, but it's
mm,
time to hang it up. You obviously can't do it with a good team. And I think the Colts, I will say this, I think the Colts are one quarterback away from being a actual Super Bowl contending team. I think they're that good. I
mm-hmm.
think their quarterback situation is just not what they need. And I don't think Jacoby Brissett is the answer either.
No, he's still like a game manager type style. I think they need someone a little bit
Yeah.
more prolific in there. But yeah, no, I mean Philip Rivers, he couldn't even get to the end zone on that, last play Hail Mary. So I'm not sure how you're gonna expect to win if you got that
It
guy behind center.
it looks like he's shot putting the football every time he throws. It's so bizarre how he's even an NFL quarterback still.
Yeah, blows my mind. So we had that game, Rams Seahawks, which was kind of an upset. You know, you had the Jalen Ramsey effect on DK. He got a little frustrated on the sidelines if you saw that. Goff just did enough. Aaron Donald, I mean, when you talk about a guy on the defensive side of the ball who can disrupt, the whole game, which is the only really asset that I'm worried about going into next week against the Packers. And then we had the
Well,
Bucks who
let's
won
go
pretty
into that.
handily. And yet we will go
Rams
into
versus
that.
Packers.
Rams vs. Packers kicking off the divisional round 4:35 on a Saturday. I'm going to be just getting done winning the Insane Games pickleball tournament, hop in the Infinity Q50, drive up to Hefe's, and we're going to be watching the Packers game. But, I mean, as I said,
Where are you
Tyler,
drafting to?
El Hefe's.
Oh, El Jefe. Oh, okay. I thought you said a bar. I was like, what
No,
bar is called El
no,
Jefe's?
no, no. Hefe's joint. We got to
I
get
mean,
the wood stove rolling, some
Papa
claws.
Cook. That might be the next venture. El Jefe's, the bar,
Ooh,
cigar lounge.
hey,
Oof, that'd be.
get that going up in Cloverdale. Um,
Ooh,
but so we're kicking off the weekend. I mean, like I said, Aaron Donald he can disrupt, but you saw Tyler.
is he even playing?
It's unsure. I don't see him not playing. I don't think it was that serious of an injury. But you're right. Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and there's someone else that I think might be on the injury report.
Not
But
only
what?
Jared Goff as well.
Yeah, whether they play, whether they don't play, I'm not worried. I was worried, however, going into the Bears game. Obviously, David Bakhtiari tore his ACL out for the season. Obviously, going up against Khalil Mack in that whole Bears defensive front, but they moved Bill Turner over to left tackle, and he did a decent job. I think he had a couple penalties, but really didn't let up any sacks. I'm not worried at all. I won't talk about it too much, Tyler. Obviously, I like to ramble, but Packers are at home. They've been playing well all year. I have no reason to suspect them playing lesser than the level they have been. Aaron Rodgers should be having an MVP type season. We'll find out for sure. Devontae Adams. That, Tyler, will be a very good matchup. Devontae Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. We'll see if he shadows him all game. I know Devontae lines up in the slot sometimes, so they might have to do some kind of zone coverage. But it's they're gonna rely on the run game. It's gonna be cold there in Lambeau. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon, Robert Tonyan, who I think got snubbed from the Pro Bowl, which it won't matter, Robert. We're gonna be in the Super Bowl. You wouldn't have gone anyways. But I know it would have been nice to get selected. Defense is playing great. Yeah, don't really have much else to say. I mean, the only thing, my main concern is special teams, right? So I said Aaron Donald, if he plays special teams. They brought in Tavon Austin. He had a fumble last game. They just, for whatever reason, they've never been super strong in that category. But so yes, I'm picking the Packers, and now I'm going to popcorn to Tyler
Obviously.
to see what he has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Packers are gonna. I want to say squeak by, but I think they're gonna win by a touchdown at least, maybe even less. And the only reason I'm gonna go with that is because I think the momentum that the Rams have from the game against the Seahawks is very strong. Their defense played phenomenally. They when you speak of a game of shutting someone down, they shut the Seahawks down. Yeah, they had a big touchdown to DK Metcalf, whatever. But they completely shut down Russell Wilson. He was in the pocket, scared for his life. But the only reason why I'm going to go with the Packers is because of injuries on the Rams side. Aaron Donald's definitely going to be playing hurt. He may not sit out, but he's definitely going to be playing hurt. Jared Goff
hmm
obviously playing hurt. I don't think against a strong Packers defense he's going to be able to do what he did against the Seahawks because the Seahawks defense obviously is suspect, has been all season. And I think the Packers are going to put together a great package that's going to stop Aaron Donald, if he does play, and the rest of that defensive line that caused havoc against Russell Wilson. So I'm gonna go with the Packers in a it's gonna be a good game. I I,
Hmm.
I know for a fact, and primarily against momentum for the Rams, but I think the Packers are gonna win and go into the NFC Championship game.
All right, I love it. Anytime Tyler's talking positive about the Packers, I'll take it. So, but you think it'll be a close game? Rams open as 7-point underdogs. Are you hammering the Rams to cover a 7-point spread?
I am. I can see that.
All
I
right.
can see that. I mean,
I don't think it's
it's
gonna be
tough,
close, but I mean, just after seeing
I
what they
the
did to
and
the Titans and the Bears recently, man, it's like they're
the only
they're they're
reason I
rolling.
I agree. No, I know they are. It's playoff football though. Any given Sunday, I think Jared Goff's gonna
Or Saturday.
be gritty. I think Aaron Donald's gonna be gritty. Yes, every Saturday. I think the Rams are a gritty team that is gonna show you that they're not gonna give up even against the NFL's best team in the Packers.
Yeah. No, I
Listen,
mean,
I told you A-Rod for MVP. I
yeah.
think he's nasty. Their defense is so effing good, and they showed it against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think they might have just used up all their juice in that Seahawks game getting by. But we shall
You
see.
hope. You hope.
I don't think it'll matter, T. I don't think it'll matter.
Um,
Going into the night game, we got the Ravens at the Bills. I'll let you start on this one because I got to hear someone speak to me and get their idea because I still don't know about this one.
Yeah, this game was tough for me, especially losing money on the Ravens this week after beating the Titans. And watching the Bills against the Colts really didn't help this pick at all either, because normally I'd be like, oh, Bills by a million. Regardless of it being in Buffalo, they really didn't play that well in Buffalo, but the Colts have a good defense. I'm gonna keep on the Bills Mafia train this week. Again, another close game. I think it's gonna be maybe a 1 to 3 point game. Um, in Buffalo. Lamar Jackson's playing tough. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game though. High
Hmm.
scoring offense, on both sides. Stephon Diggs playing out of his freaking mind. Cole Beasley playing out of his mind. Josh Allen playing out of his mind. I'm going to go with the Bills by a little. I think they're just going to be this much better than the Ravens this week.
All
This
right.
much.
So Tyler, let me start out by saying this. I want the Bills to win, right? Upstate New York, really the only true New York football team. But with that being said, looking at these next two games, I think we're going to be on this similar kind of page. So to give it some disparity for this week's picks, I'm going to go with the Ravens and just kind of talking myself into this pick. Lamar Jackson, right? They were the top seed last year. They got snuffed by the Titans. He's on a revenge train, right? He hasn't played really well all year. Everyone's saying, oh, the MVP season was a fluke. Yes, the Bills are at home, but I feel like this is a good matchup for the Ravens, right? It's going to be pretty low scoring, if I had to guess. Ravens defense, they're going to do enough to slow down Josh Allen. And I think Lamar comes out. I think he has an exceptional passing game in this one. And the Ravens squeak by a field goal. Justin Tucker for the win. That's what I'm going with. Ravens.
Before before you go to the next game, I appreciate the disparity, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
let me pose this. You don't think that the Bills defense is gonna shadow Lamar Jackson even better, if not the best, than the Titans did? Because Evans against the Titans was the what do they call it, the spy, if you will, for Lamar Jackson last game, and I thought he did a piss poor job. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Bills are going to do a lot better job. They have faster guys on their defense. Their secondary is great, so I'm not really seeing a good pass game against them with Lamar Jackson. I think the only way you beat them is with the run. But do you think that the Bills' defense is going to slow them down a lot better than the Titans did,
On the like rushing wise or just overall offense?
rushing wise?
I think so, Tyler, and I think this is going to be kind of devil's advocate for this game. Like you said, they got a lot of speed guys. The Bills can probably go out and play with their game that they've been playing all season long, but I think they're going to key too much on the run and Lamar Jackson being a scrambling quarterback, which in turn opens up the passing game. Like I said, they got Marquise Brown going. They still have Hayden Hurst at the tight end position, or Mark Andrews, excuse me. Hayden Hurst is on the Falcons now, but
He's
they got
not playing. He's golfing this weekend.
yeah. He's got weapons out there. I think they're gonna do enough. Like I said, I hope the Bills win. They just won their first playoff game since 1995, which is an incredible stat. I hope they make it to the AFC Championship game, but I don't know. I just feel like Lamar. I feel okay. So here's what I think. My formulas: time of possession, right? I think the Ravens defense keeps Josh Allen and the Bills off the field enough to give Lamar Jackson opportunities to score.
You would hope. I just think I can't. The reason why I'm not picking the Ravens is I can see what you're saying is the pass game, they're going to have to pass a lot more. I just can't trust the Ravens receivers. For me, they literally only have one trustworthy person, and that's Mark Andrews. You said it yourself. Brown had his first 100-yard pass or receiving game this season. Des Bryant's
Mm,
not the Des Bryant of the past, and I really don't even know who else they have. Willie Snead, maybe.
yeah.
It's tough for me, especially against an exceptional Bills secondary. So that's the only reason why.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. The next game we're going to talk about, I don't think is going to be a good game at all. Of course, the Browns surprised me last week, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Tyler, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they're coming off a bye. Everyone's healthy. They got Kelsey, who was the second leading receiver in all of the NFL at the tight end position. But of course, if Darren Waller was on that team, and
Hey, Darren Waller would be number one.
but yeah,
I got you
so
talking about Darren Waller. That should be something.
it's not always good things, but yeah, his name is coming out of my mouth. I don't really have much to say about this one. I think the Chiefs come in here, they just play bully ball with the Browns. I mean, Baker, you know, he did decent last week, but Chiefs are just too much of a well-rounded machine. Andy Reid, they've been there before. They got a taste. They got a little bit of taste for that championship. They want to try to repeat. I just think they're going to be too much for the Browns.
Yes. Yep. The Browns. I really want to pick them. I really do.
Do it.
I just well, what's going to happen? I'm predicting the future already. The Browns are going to lead for 3 quarters, and then the Chiefs are going to wake up and say, "Hey, we haven't played in about 3 weeks, but let's get the ball rolling again." And Patrick Mahomes is just going to throw tutter after tutter after tutter to Hill, insert name here, into any person on their team. Fuck,
Mm-hmm.
they might even get Le'Veon Bell in it just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Chiefs by a lot. But like I said, Browns, I predict, are going to lead for 3 quarters.
That's
And
a
then it's just
bold.
going to be Chiefs from there.
That's a bold prediction there, T. We'll see how it plays out for you. I think it's nah. I just don't think that's gonna happen
Well,
at all.
the only reason I'm saying this, Chiefs have been off last week, right? Had a bye week this week, I should say. Then the week prior to that, benched all their players, lost to the Chargers.
Yeah, that's a good
So it's
point.
gonna take them a little while to get the ball rolling again with the Chiefs, but they're gonna blow them out of the water in the fourth quarter, guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you saying that obviously they kind of set week 17 already had that number one seed locked up. Mahomes, Kelsey, all those main guys didn't really play, so they're on a two
I
week
mean,
bye.
the Browns are gonna come out. They just won their first playoff game in I don't know how long. They're gonna be hyped. They're gonna think their shit don't stink, just like they're dancing Corvette in the locker room. Well, guess what? The real Corvette's coming out number 10 on the Chiefs, and he will be blazing by you. I guarantee you that.
Cheetah Corvette, I like that. So Tyler, we're talking Browns. I guess not to get on too much of a tangent. Do you think the Cleveland Browns are better without Odell Beckham?
I do.
Is he just
I
like,
do.
I mean, obviously he's a phenomenal player. You can't take away from what he's
Right.
done, but it seems as though they're almost playing better. Like, is he a locker room distraction? Just overall?
I wouldn't say so much locker room from what I've seen on all the Browns games, which isn't a lot. I just think they have too many options. They have so many good players, but they have too many options. I feel like Odell, maybe chirping on the sidelines to offensive coordinators, Baker Mayfield or whatnot, give me the ball, but you have literally the best running offense in the league with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, like I aforementioned. I just I don't think he's needed on the Browns. If honestly, if I was the Browns, I would go after a first round pick, second round pick, something for him to compensate for it. Because
Hmm.
Jarvis Landry is doing exactly what they wanted Odell Beckham to do. So, in all honesty, Odell Beckham could be used elsewhere, aka the Oakland or the Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me.
Mm.
I think we could use a wide receiver. So, Odell, if you want to blow some money on strippers like you did in Miami for the New York Giants, hit me up. I know John Gruden.
Hey, if he likes to party, Las Vegas is a great spot for him.
Oh, hell yeah.
What's that hat say? Does that say Oakland?
It says Raiders, just Raiders.
Do you have any Las Vegas gear yet? Or are you still
I
gonna
do
John
actually.
Gruden it?
No, I have two. I have a shirt, but it's not really like an NFL like affiliated shirt. It's kind of like a custom one that I got for Christmas, and then I have a Las Vegas draft hat that I fucking hate because it's one of those ones that it fits to your head. It's not like
Mm.
adjustable
The
by no means.
stretchy.
So
Is it
yeah, and it
stretchy or
doesn't fit 'cause
fitted?
it's way too big. It's a stretchy.
Yeah, yeah. Snapback, strapback. That's the way to go.
It's like
Moving
that shit that you
on.
would wear back in like little league baseball.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I got a Packers hat like that. It's not terrible. I wear it golfing sometimes, but anyways, last game of the night, or excuse me, of the divisional round weekend. We got the Buccaneers versus Saints. Tyler, I mean, we kind of spoke this game into existence. We said back in March, whenever it
March.
was, it's gonna be Brady versus Rodgers in the NFC Championship game. Here it is. I'm almost hard pressed to say the Saints. I thought they played well. Kamara didn't really have a game, but Thomas was looking healthy. Breeze is almost the biggest question mark for me. I don't know. I feel like they're almost playing better with Taysom Hill. They just gave him that extra dynamic, which is crazy. Obviously, Breeze, Hall of Famer. The defense is strong. Did Cam Jordan go out with an injury, or am I just like making this up in my head?
I'm not sure. I don't think I saw him go out.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
did for like one play or whatnot.
Marcus Davenport, who the Packers traded away that pick to the Saints, playing pretty good football. But I mean, come on, this was written in the old caves, right? Cavemen when they're doing the hieroglyphics in the caves. But I mean, Tom Brady, he's coming back. He's got something to prove. He's 43 years old, which is just phenomenal. I'm not sure how his body hasn't crumbled up into a pile of dirt and loose skin, but he's still out here. He's eating his pistachio ice cream, and I just think they have too many weapons. We talked about AB. When was he gonna come on? He's making his presence known. They still have Godwin. They have Mike Evans. I mean, the rushing attack with Fournette and Jones.
Gronk
Gronk is there as like a sleeper
is
guy.
non-existent, but
Yeah, I mean,
Cameron Brate's actually been playing really well.
yeah, I don't know. I want to see Brady Rogers, and I feel like the Bucks are still a little bit better team.
So with you saying Brady, I'm gonna play this audio. Obviously not production grade audio, but I'm
Okay.
gonna try my hardest. Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully it doesn't blow out the speakers, but um,
What's up, guys? That was a great 60 minutes of football, our first playoff win. Yesterday, it's the middle of January. We're still working. We're still here. Round two next. Who do you guys want us to play? I think I know.
he thinks he knows. I knew exactly when I saw that video. New Orleans Saints versus Bucks. They want Drew Brees. They're sick of losing. They lost. They're 0 for 2 this season. They lost in the first game. They lost the second game. Third game is the charm.
Yeah.
It's so hard to beat a team 3 times. I think, like you said, Drew Brees not playing his best ball, and I think he even knows it. You can tell he's uncomfortable throwing the ball, uncomfortable in the pocket. If they really want to win the game, it's going to be through Kamara and their defense. The only thing that's kind of stopping me from absolutely saying a shit pumping game by the Bucks is their defense. Their zone was super soft against the who'd they face? I don't even remember.
The Bears or
No,
who we
the
talking about?
Bucks. Who'd the Bucks face? The
Washington football
Bucks.
team.
They played Washington. Taylor Heineke playing like an all-pro quarterback out there, making the Bucks look foolish. I thought their defense was very soft. They need to step that shit up if they want to beat the Saints because I think obviously they have the best weapon with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. It's going to be a nail biter, I think. But I think the Bucks,
Yeah.
they want it this much more. Brady in the postseason, you can't go against them. I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the defense. Jason Pierre-Paul, something seemed off with him. I just can't seem to put my finger on it. But with that being said, we can go into. So we already gave our college football championship predictions. We have that game coming up here soon. We both said Roll Tide. So Tyler, some other news in the NFL. Adam Gase is out. Doug Peterson is out. Now, in a crazy turn of events, the Jets are interviewing Doug Peterson, and the report came out that the Eagles are interested in Adam Gase. I mean,
just do what the Raiders did and trade their quarterback or their coach back in 2001.
Right. Do you think either of these guys are coaching somewhere next season? If you do, which one?
I think the only person that is worthy of a job should be Doug Peterson, obviously. Like I said last week, these coaches that go from head coaching position to head coaching position and fail, they just need to go back down. They're only good at being coordinators, whether it's offensive or defensive. Adam Gase, obviously playing with the Jets, doesn't really help, but I just don't think he's going to be a good coach. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion. It's kind of written in the stars he's going to be coaching somewhere. Would I want to be coaching the Jets over the Eagles? Not so much, but they do have a lot of potential. They have a lot of young guys that are going to be good. They have great draft positions this year, probably next year as well too. I think if they give him this is what I think. You hire a coach, you need to give him a 5-year plan. You need to give the guy some time. The Eagles didn't really give Doug Peterson that much time. The Jets didn't really give Gase that much time. I think you need to put a 5-year plan together for Doug Peterson if he gets hired by the Jets. Let him build up that offensive line, that defensive line, get a good quarterback in there, build some weapons around him, maybe sign some people like an Odell Beckham in the offseason. Just give him some time. He's a good coach. He's won the Super Bowl. He knows how to get there. He knows how to win it, So
yeah, we'll see what comes to fruition on that. So in other news, I had a little tidbit here, Tyler, in my notes. LaMelo Ball, youngest player ever to record a triple-double. Through this point in the season, Tyler, he's second in points, first in assists, first in rebounds, first in efficiency, and first in steals for all of this rookie class. I hand up, in the springtime before we're talking about the draft and everything, I said I don't think he's going to be that great in the NBA. I think Lonzo is going to be the best ball. You said otherwise. What do you think about his performance so far? And do you think he's got, room to grow? Do you think he gets better from here, or is he having a little bit of luck?
No, I think it's all skill. The guy was born for this, played pros overseas, been playing pro since God knows how long. I feel like he's been a pro since forever. No, I think he's got a lot of room to go, a lot of potential. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger, faster. You name it. I think he's going to be probably equivalent to a stature of I'm going to say Carmelo Anthony. I think he's going to lead the league in scoring.
Carmelo,
he's going to be
LaMelo.
one of those guys that's yep, he's going to be I don't think he's going to win a championship, or he may, unlike Carmelo did, but I think he's going to be of that stature, superstar, scorer. He's going to be that go-to guy at the end of the game. I think he's going to be a staple in the NBA for years to come.
Yeah. No, it seems like he's kind of finding his rhythm now. Past few games, been putting up some good points. So I think in the triple-double, he dropped 21 points.
22.
22. All right. So he's getting there. So we're rounding out this last portion of the show. Tyler, do you want me to hit my weekly winners, and then you can do your 2 minutes and do your last ad read that you want to do?
Or before Weezy's weekly winners, our second ad read today.
Okay, he's getting into it.
No Look Podcast is sponsored by Consequential Clothing. Consequential Clothing is obviously near and dear to our hearts here on the No Look Podcast. Mm-hmm. From what I heard, the owner hit me up today. There's some things in the works. So keep an eye out, consequentialclothing.com. If you type in No Look in the promos, you get 10% off all purchases. So if you're watching, you want to get your Consequential Clothing on, type in NOLOOK into the promo box, get 10% off. That's Tyler's promos right there. I'm handing out not only predictions, I'm handing out discounts. I'm saving people money. You got a stimmy check, just like I said the last time. You need some new clothes. Consequential's got the go-to on this off season. The winter clothes, the spring clothes. You even have workout clothes, don't you?
I mean, technically you wear it. It's not like a
The
specific.
cutoff shirt, I would
Yeah,
rock the
tank
shit out
top.
of that one working out.
Yeah.
He's got Gators in consequential clothing. I might get some pushback from the owner, but I think 10% off. He can take off some tax for you, maybe save you a little bit of money, get some repeat customers.
Yeah.
Check it out, consequentialclothing.com. New stuff coming soon.
Yeah.
And back
Stay
to you,
tuned.
Weezy, at your weekly winners.
Stay tuned. Hopefully the owner is watching this podcast and goes on to create that promo code for you guys at home. Tomorrow. Starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Starting tomorrow. But yeah, also stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram for most of our updates. Consequential Clothing Co. CO at the end of that, all one word, on Instagram. Thank you for that, Tyler.
The beanie, by the way, probably one of my favorite beanies to wear. I like the fit. It looks good. Kind of like what Austin's rocking right now. It looks just like that, except you have the logo on the front.
I almost
and
wore
it comes
it
in
too.
6 different colors.
I almost wore that too. I was like, I wear it all the time. Let me switch it up. Too bad. Maybe.
Probably smelled after you wore it to the gym. You nasty.
I don't sweat unless I do cardio, so.
And you don't do cardio anymore.
I'm just in too good a shape. God damn it, I go on runs around Cloverdale. With that being said, we're getting into Weezy's weekly winners. I know we kind of take a break from them. We don't do them every week. Tyler hit me up, said he had 2 minutes. I said, all right, let me find a few winners that we can discuss. Number one, I do have Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's been under the spotlight a lot. He's a lot of scrutiny. I think he came out, had a almost perfect passer rating, beat the Steelers, had himself a day. Also, I saw a video, Tyler, where there was like a cancer patient. He took some time out of his day, signed some autographs, took some pictures. So kudos to you, Baker Mayfield, and congrats on your first round victory. Number two, Tyler, for my weekly winner.
I gotta take a piss before I piss my pants. I'll be back before 2 minutes.
Okay. Hopefully it's not that
Too much
long
water
of a piss. So number two on my weekly winners, I might have to elongate this a little bit in case he takes a little while. I have Steve Kerr. Article comes out. He's telling the story at a press conference. I guess Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, they weren't on the plane. Steve Kerr FaceTimes him. Steph answers, says, "Oh, my bad, coach. We're at the Oracle Arena. We're chilling with Drake." He's like, "All right, well, we have a strict code policy if you're late for the plane." He's like, "Yeah, we'll be right there." Supposedly, Drake shows up. There's some kind of clause that they had for the Warriors. You could bring a couple people, friends, relatives on the plane a couple times a year. Steph chooses Drake. What does Steve Kerr do? Does he not only find Steph and Draymond, right, current players on the Golden State Warriors, $500 for being late, he also finds Drake, maybe the biggest celebrity right now. I mean, it's a pretty opinionated statement, but I mean, you talk about just being a consummate artist, right? He's just in all the different social circles. He's hanging out with LeBron. He's hanging out with actors, models. So one of the biggest names, in the world right now. He finds him $500 who, Drake probably had that just chilling in his pocket that he forgot from last weekend. It was chump change to him, but just a funny story. Number three on my Weezy's Weekly winners, I have potheads. That's right. The House of Representatives passed a bill to legalize on a federal level marijuana and decriminalize it. They're waiting on the Senate to pass it. But with that being said, potheads, you are my third and last weekly winner because we're getting real close, right? I know there's a few states that already legalized it. Some have medicinal, some have recreational. But we are almost on a federal level of legalizing marijuana. And that rounds out my weekly winners, and Tyler is back just in time.
Yeah, sorry. Way too much water at the gym today, and water in general.
Never too much water.
My pipes were literally about to burst. So, what was number two? I'm interested.
Steve Kerr. I was talking about the article that came out, and he was talking about he fined Drake $500. I said, Drake is arguably the most famous person on the planet right now, and the fact that you have the balls to fine him $500, not even being a player or, having to abide by the, being on time for the plane. So I thought that was good.
Yeah. Well, Tyler's 2 minutes. Haven't had a Tyler's 2 minutes in a long time. It's been a while, in the words of Stained. But as a Nets fan, Austin, obviously, as you are privy to this information, have been since for as long as I know, we're going through a little bit of a drought. As Lil Wayne says, we're going through a drought. Losing games, have probably arguably the best team on paper besides the LA Lakers this season. KD's been in and out of the lineup. They've been interchanging, him. Finally came back last night, dropped a mean 32 against, or whatever, 30 plus against his old team, the Thunder. But who have we been missing? Who hasn't been in there? Who's been gone? And he's always seemed to be out of the lineup. Last season, a lot of injuries. Cleveland, a lot of injuries. Duke, a lot of injuries. But this season, Kyrie Irving, you're not out for injuries. You're out for personal reasons. And it's really been bothering me. And I think enough is enough. I think he's out for personal reasons. And they're saying that it stems from what happened at the Capitol on Wednesday. I don't really understand why make a big deal and take away from what happened at the Capitol on Wednesday rather than maybe make statements, maybe donate to, places that are going to help this, are going to criminalize these people. Instead, we're just going to sit out 3 games and make a bigger deal about it because you're sitting out rather than saying something. Kyrie Irving hasn't said a single word since he's been out. He's just been sitting out for personal reasons. The whole entire team on the Nets, Steve Nash, Kevin Durant, everybody is saying that they agree with his decision and support him 100%. Regardless of that, I need someone to come out and say, Kyrie, we agree with you lighting sage every game, getting the positive energy going. We, are happy that you're considering yourself an artist, whatever the case may be. But the problem is that you're getting paid to play these games. We rely on you because you are one of the best point guards in the NBA. We need you. But nobody is stepping up to the plate and saying that. We have Kevin Durant. We have Caris LeVert. We have all these players that are DeAndre Jordan, all-stars. But yet our second best player, Kyrie Irving, is taking it upon himself to make it about himself. And for me as a Nets fan, it's kind of, discouraging. I don't really want him on my team if it's all about him. I'd rather have some guy like insert here any point guard, Jeff Teague, for instance, that's going to facilitate the game. Someone that's going to show up day in, day out, put in the work, play defense, play offense, get KD the ball, get out of the way, or put up some points sometimes and win the game. Makes me wish I had D'Angelo Russell back. Guy was ice in his veins, cold, smooth, lefty, loosey. It was beautiful to watch. One of my favorite players, but I think enough is enough. It's time to come back. It's time to play ball, and I don't think it's right for him to take away and make even more noise by not saying anything.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point, Tyler. I like the perspective being obviously that you're a Nets fan. It's definitely got to be frustrating for you guys. Waited this long. Him and Katie are healthy, and just to not have him out there. Do you know their record since he's been out? Or
well, the Nets are currently behind the Knicks in the standings.
Oh,
I can tell you that.
Hey, don't sleep on the Knicks. Julius Randle.
Let me look up
RJ Barrett.
Let me look up the Eastern Conference standings. Right now, the Nets are 5-6. Which I don't think that's right. Is that right? They're 5-6 while the Knicks are 5-5. I don't think that's right.
What do you mean?
I thought they played more games.
No, that's what I'm seeing as
Either
well.
way.
Well,
Either way.
It won't stay like that. The Knicks will fucking tank, and the Kyrie will come back. The Nets will be fine.
Of course, I mean, granted, people are probably going to say, well, if there's any time to sit out, it's now. The guy's making a difference by not playing, whatever the case may be. Either way, I think if you're not going to say anything, you're making more noise by sitting out. If you're going to sit out, at least explain why, so not only the fans understand, but management understands, or maybe management even knows. But the problem is that it's leaving a bad taste in the people that pays his salary, obviously the fans. I'm gonna be that guy. Pays his salary. It's leaving a bad taste in our mouths. It's making us not even want you anymore as a player. You can be a social reformer, whatever the case may be, but if you're gonna, not say anything about it or state anything about it or make a difference or do something about it, then you're really not making a difference.
Yeah, I see that. It's kind of, I think maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but almost it sounds like what you're saying is that he's almost making it a bigger deal than it is. Whereas if he kind of,
Absolutely.
like the whole protest, which it was a big deal. I'm not gonna take away from the situation. I mean, I watched a little bit of 60 Minutes with Nancy Pelosi, and I'm sure she was at some point scared for her life. I mean, they charged into her office. If she was there, who knows what would have happened? It would have had some kind of maybe potential kidnapping situation. But anyways, we're not a political podcast. What I was getting at, he's kind of like that person that makes a big deal out of something just to bring attention to it, just because he wants to be that guy. But in contrast to the protests were like, we want people to see this, like we want to be viewed as this. Whereas like if you just kind of turned a blind eye to it, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. Whereas everyone's kind of giving it a lot of attention, and yeah, now it is what it is.
Like for me, it's not the fact that he's sitting out; it's the fact that he's sitting out and not saying anything. He's not listing why he's sitting out. He's not like Muhammad Ali, making a protest about it. He's not stating anything.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think that's making him look even worse because it's negligence on his end. I think if you're going to make a statement, make a statement. Don't just sit out just because of personal reasons and not explain why. People care about the Nets, they care about the NBA. Obviously, they care about the United States. Make it known, make a difference.
Yeah, and not that he owes any of the fans or anyone, the fact to disclose his reasons behind sitting out. But with that being said, it just kind of tarnishes your look as a player,
perception
right?
Of him.
If he thinks things off the court and happening in the world right now are more important than basketball, that's fine. But it's definitely disheartening for the fans, for an organization who just took a chance on this guy, paid him a lot of money. It's tough and frustrating more so than anything else.
Here's the thing, and this will be the last thing I say about it. You say he doesn't have to say anything to us, of course, but what is he doing to make a difference? By sitting out, by not doing anything, by not saying anything, you're not doing anything to make a difference.
Yeah. No, I hear you loud and clear. And I think that'll probably be a good spot to stop. We hit the hour mark, 8:05. We will be right back. I'm not sure if Tyler is. Yes or no? He's got to eat, maybe.
What are we playing?
I talked to Brendan and Brian earlier about maybe rocking some PGA.
Ooh, I'll be down. I definitely got to eat real quick, though. But
yeah. So looks like Tyler will be back and myself for the Monday Night Gaming. This has been another installation of the No Look Podcast on Insane Games TV. Look out for that pickleball tournament. Your boy Yosoy will be there. And if I ain't the number 1 seed, I gotta be top 2. I know Johnny's.
Good luck being Johnny. That's all I'll say.
I know he's got the championship belt right now, but he hasn't seen my moves. I'm gonna show up in the full gear like you guys had. All right, we'll see. All right, so we'll be back. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna start it back up. T's gonna be back after he eats. So give this page a refresh in a few minutes, and we'll be good to go.